I am not emotionally prepared for this video today. Fuck my entire life. What the fuck is up, my bitches? If you're new here, hello, my name is Brittany. And today, unfortunately, it's not a happy Friday today because we got news today that Makeup Geek is closing its doors. And if you're familiar with me and my channel, I fucking love Makeup Geek. I always say in videos, like, I feel like nobody talks about them anymore. I feel like I'm the only one that does. And here we are. So I'm like, fuck my entire life. But I figure everybody was tagging me on Instagram today. And people were like sliding into my DMs. They're like, let's talk about it. We need to talk about it. So here I am appeasing all you bitches. Your bitches today, okay? And we're just going to sit down and chitty chat about Makeup Geek and how I'm feeling about it, my thoughts on it. And I'm also going to be using a bunch of Makeup Geek products today in lieu of the very unfortunate news. But there is 40% off site-wide right now. So if you've been wanting to try the brand or if you want to snag some of your favorites before everything is gone, I'm like sitting here like, is this real fucking life right now? Like, this is a joke, right? Like, you know that little trend that's going on TikTok where it's like, this is a joke, right? That's exactly what I was thinking when I saw it today. Like, I know people are probably going to say like they're not surprised because people don't really talk about Makeup Geek online. And a part of me is surprised, but a part of me is also not, simply because Makeup Geek is not one of those brands that launches new products all the time. The most recent product that they launched were these brushes that I'm going to be using today. And I feel like, especially in the world of YouTube and stuff like that, new shit is what people pay attention to. Like, I feel like that's no secret. I've been very vocal on my channel as well. Like, if I don't get stuff like as soon as it drops, there's a good chance that I probably won't feature it, or at least like dedicate a video to it. Like, I was doing Throwback Thursday videos for a while, just featuring a bunch of like older products, and they just don't necessarily perform the best. But I'm over here like, Makeup Geek has never died for me. I still compare every palette that I get. I compare it to my Makeup Geek shadows. I'm telling you what, I found Makeup Geek from actually Jaclyn Hill back in the day. And I remember the video, and I think this is why I'm so like, I don't want to say affected because that feels very dramatic, but I was just so like, I don't know, like, I'm not like an emotional person, right? And I'm sitting there watching Marlena's video today, and I started crying because I'm like, this brand was like so impactful for me, and I feel like I'm gonna get emotional, holy fuck. And just seeing like Marlena pave the way for not only influencers, but also brand owners, like, that bitch did it all from fucking scratch. And all these other brands benefit from everything that she contributed to. You know what I'm saying? That's where I think it's so sad for those reasons, but also that it's a brand that has amazing quality, that is, I mean, everything's made in the USA, I'm pretty sure, for Makeup Geek as well. And that's one thing that I love to see when it comes to brands. I like seeing things that are made in the US. That's just a personal preference thing. I know not everybody's like that. But I'm just like, fuck. I want to know what you guys think, because this is live. If you're new, my channel is primarily live stream. That's a lie. Like, every aspect of my videos are live. But I'm very curious what you guys think, because I feel like people are going to have very like polar opposite reactions. Some people are going to be like, nah, I'm not surprised at all. Or people like me that are just like so fucking biased that we hate to see this happen because we love them so much. Let's see. Tracy said, I wonder where the beauty community would be right now without Makeup Geek and Marlena. I 100% agree. And it's not even just Marlena, but obviously we're going to talk a lot about her today because she is the owner of Makeup Geek. And I feel like for a lot of people like myself, Marlena was one of the very few like influencers that, I'm like getting sidetracked trying to do this. Marlena was one of those very few creators that were on this platform, like when it first started. Like, she was one of the OGs of beauty creators. And now, like, she's still gonna be on YouTube. If anything, I feel like I see her like more active now. And we'll kind of speculate as well, like, what do we think is going to happen? Because I don't know, like, a part of me is like, I think that there might still be another brand that comes out. It just might not be called Makeup Geek. But then I also see her on other platforms as well, because not only do I love the brand, I also love Marlena. Like, I just think that she is just a pure joy. I don't know. Again, biased. I agree. She helped so many get started. Kara said, I brought every single shadow about a year ago. Is it bad? I want to buy backups now. No, it's not. And another thing that I think will help people understand if they're not familiar with me and like why I'm so attached to them, like I not only bought the whole Matrix system, like I'm using the Matrix system right now. I'm using the neutral palette. I've bought this Matrix system 3 fucking times. I bought it when it originally came out. It technically it wasn't called the Matrix, but I had like a whole ass collection of the single shadows when they first came out. And there's just something about the blendability, just the overall aesthetic. Like I fucking love everything about the Matrix system now. So then I bought it when the rebrand happened, like 2 years ago? I think it was like right before COVID hit. And then I ended up dropping them and I bought it again. Like, that's how you know, like, these are insanely amazing quality eyeshadows. Like, I feel like the main thing of Makeup Geek is the eyeshadows, but there's, like, very few products. With every brand, I feel like I usually experience probably, like, part of the brand is good, and then the other part, I'm just like, this is hot trash. With Makeup Geek, I feel like all of their quality is good. It's just some of the products didn't necessarily work for me. But that doesn't mean that it's bad quality. Like, you never got piss poor quality from Makeup Geek. And that was one of my favorite things. And I always talk about that as well with other brands. Like, I would much rather pay for quality over quantity. And I feel like with Makeup Geek, it was one of those brands that you're getting quality over quantity. And that kind of goes back to with what I was saying earlier about, like, no, they're not launching new products all the time, but I feel like the rebrand went fairly well. I think there was a lot of criticism from the rebrand. Like, okay, they're doing, like, literally the same fucking thing. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to envision, like, what I expected from the rebrand. I know that it didn't go, like, according to plan, though. One, because of Marlena's video. But even from, like, the hints that she used to drop back in the day, because I used to watch every one of her videos. Anytime there was anything Makeup Geek, I fucking knew about it. Or, like, when these brushes were coming out, I remember she talked about them, like, 3 years ago or 2 years ago. There's just always been a special place in my heart for Makeup Geek. So I'm over here, like, I feel like there was a plan, and I think ultimately COVID just fucked it all up, mainly because of, like, production. Just because I'm sure labs were not able to operate because, I own businesses. I kind of understand the whole production aspect of it, but COVID fucked up literally everything. Like, fucked it all up. And I'm over here just like, but did you have to take Makeup Geek, though? Just wondering. But without the effects of COVID, like, I guarantee that things would have been able to launch as they were supposed to. Like, I feel like we've been hearing about the duochrome shadows were supposed to come back. There was supposed to be, like, an extension of the foiled range. Like, I know, at least just from what I remember hearing, that there was always talks about more coming. It just wasn't coming as fast as I think that we thought, which fucking sucks. Diane, same. Heartbroken. I'm just like, but why? Why? It's almost like, but if we knew this was coming, could we have done something about it? You know, because I don't think anybody would want to see this brand go away. Even if you're not shopping this brand all the time. Like, I just think the overall concept behind Makeup Geek, and I think that's what makes it so special to me, is the overall concept. It's so user-friendly, it's so beginner-friendly, but even if you're the most, like, if you're the most amazing makeup artist of all time, or if you're the most knowledgeable person, like, you can always learn something from either the Makeup Geek website. They're always doing tutorials. Like, I just feel like it's so, like, back to basics, and I think that's one thing that I do really love about it. But even just with how, like, the Makeup Geek Matrix system is laid out. It makes so much sense, especially to people like me. I'm always saying how, like, I love neutrals. I don't think I'm that great with color. Makeup Geek is one of those brands that made color so approachable for me. Just because it's the undertones that they selected, I felt like the overall system that was put in place, it made it easier. Like, Makeup Geek as a brand, I think just taught people so much, and I think that's another reason why I got, like, emotional watching her video today, because I truly don't think Marlena understands the impact that she's had, not only from beauty creators, but to consumers, to female business owners. Like, you fucking name it, she has done it. And fucking crushed it. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking off like a totally biased perspective, but I don't care. I think that's what you guys all came here for today. I want to know, though, what you guys said. Kara says a lot of sold out, just looked. COVID has killed the brand. See, I think part of it was probably COVID. I think another thing probably was from, like, the whole mishaps of previous business ventures, I guess. But you know what? At the end of the day, even if it wasn't COVID, even if those things didn't happen, Marlena seemed to have the, what's the word that I'm looking for? She seems very content with what's happening. Almost like this is supposed to happen. Like, this wasn't her, like, end all be all. I feel like, I can't help but feel like something else is gonna come. Like, we're definitely not done seeing Marlena Stell. I know she's probably gonna have, I say I know, like I fucking know her. But it's like, I just feel like she's not done yet. She's done so much, but she still ain't done yet. Let's see. Makeup Geek made makeup reachable for me when I started. My love for makeup came later in my life. And that is how I felt as well. I didn't start doing makeup until I was 22. Like, that's when I really found, like, my love for makeup. And then I found Marlena. It was basically like when influencers were always doing, like, collabs and shit like that. That's how I found her. And then everybody used to rave about these fucking eyeshadow. Like, look at, this is how you know. I have another palette somewhere. This is how you know you love a fucking brand. I was an affiliate of Makeup Geek, but I bought majority of this on my own. So let that be a statement for how much I love them. But I will cherish these palettes. Like, another thing that I felt like was so unique about the Matrix system is, like, for makeup artists. Like, anytime I've ever freelanced, these are the palettes that go with me because it makes so much sense. It works for so many different skin tones. I just felt like overall, there was still so much more that could have been done, even with how basic it was. But even still, even though, like, they did, like, the Matrix palettes, I feel like they always gave you inspo to use what you have. In the eyes of a business, that might not be the smartest technique because it's like once everybody has everything, it's kind of hard to build off of that. But if maybe they didn't focus on the bigger palettes, maybe it could have been different, but I feel like that's what a lot of people truly love. So I don't know. I'm so curious what, like, you guys thought reading the, like, because I feel like that's how a lot of people found out was Instagram, and then all of a sudden it was on YouTube when Marlena posted her video. I bought another gargoyle. It's beautiful. I am not a huge fan of loose pigments. I'm not either. They actually sent me quite a bit of it. I'm using the Makeup Geek primer right now. Fun fact, I actually decluttered this and I kept it in my box over there, and I was able to pull it out again for today's video. Elle says I need to take over the brand. Listen, this is another thing that is so, like, mind-blowing to me about this whole thing is I had, like, whenever you're, like, a content creator, I feel like you have it in your mind of brands you would want to work with one day. And I had been trying to get recognized from Makeup Geek for so long, for years, because they were one of my favorite brands. Like, I knew that they were quality. I knew that it was, like, a reliable brand. And finally, last year was when I began working as an affiliate with Makeup Geek. And people always would ask me, like, if you could collaborate with a brand, who would it be? I think 99% of the time I said Makeup Geek. There was probably a couple times where I would be like, oh, it depends on, like, what it is. but I always came back to Makeup Geek because I felt like they were just such a consistent brand. And you know what? Like, even from, like, the collabs that they did back in the day, everything was just so well done. But, bitch, if I could take on another thing, I would take on Makeup Geek in a heartbeat. Just because it's one of those brands. People fucking love it, right? Oh, let's see. Do you think she had offers to be bought out? I don't know. I could see Marlena being one of those owners that wouldn't want to go down that route, just because you see how many times that these big brands buy out these smaller brands and it doesn't usually go well. Or what was so special about the brand before is gone when all these conglomerates take over. And I wouldn't be surprised if the offer was there, but I could see it easily being turned down. I mean, I feel like I would be the same way, though, because, I don't know, maybe it's just like, maybe people would say, like, it's a control thing, but if I built a brand from the ground up, my bar, for example, if I built my bar, which we did, and it's so heavily tied, like, I feel like it's so heavily tied to Marlena, I would have a very hard time selling that to somebody. Like, there's no fucking way. If somebody came and was like, I want to buy your bar, I'd be like, nah. Because it's mine. Like, it's just, like, it's like a pride thing, I think. But, I don't know, maybe it wasn't. If it wasn't, what a fucking missed opportunity for brands. But then again, I still don't think it would be like what it is. It wouldn't be the same. Look at fucking like brands like Too Faced, for example. Too Faced used to murder it. They used to be incredibly consistent, and then they sold, and then it's like, what happened? They just relaunched the same thing like over and over and over again. And I don't know. That's just overall my thoughts. I know Marlena said she was going to talk about it more in the future, but whether or not we see that or not is a different story. But I feel like she probably will, because she's usually good about like revisiting like these hot topics or more emotional topics for her. She usually is pretty good about like coming back to them at a later date when she's got more of like a handle on it. Let's see. So sad. I thought about you immediately. I kind of saw this coming, but I hate to see it. I never bought from the brand. Her palettes were too big and didn't call to me. I'm glad she's in good spirits. That's how I feel too. Like, I feel like people that actually did buy Makeup Geek, they fucking loved it. I don't think I've ever seen like a bad review on Makeup Geek. But I think a lot of people probably did have that that same feeling as well. Like, it's too much, and I could see where if you're not experienced, not saying that you're not experienced, but I'm just speaking on just another like subject. I could see if you're not experienced, it can be very overwhelming, and I think maybe like the structure of the website could be overwhelming. But one of my favorite things about the Makeup Geek site, and I think that there's other like companies that are kind of doing the same thing. I don't think they do it as good as Makeup Geek did, but the build your own palette thing, like, I fucking love that. I don't know like if everybody feels the same way. Some people have said like I could see where people don't love single shadows, but the fact that you could build your own palettes, I just felt like that idea was always relevant. I don't know. How do you guys feel? Like, I guess I should ask, like, why weren't you guys surprised? The main reason why I wasn't surprised is because I don't see a lot of hype around them. Now, this is what the thing is with, like, the makeup industry now, and I think is so fascinating, especially since I've been more on TikTok. It is the quest to find a viral product. And honestly, I don't think you're gonna find something viral from Makeup Geek, because that's not the point of Makeup Geek. I think a lot of the viral products that we see now, they're not really like realistic products. At least this is just my opinion. Like, all the things that I see like a ton of hype over, or like people shat their pants about like for about 5 seconds and then it's kind of over, I don't think you're gonna get that at all. Like, I've tried hyping up Makeup Geek on TikTok and it's like, okay, cool. Because when you look at it, it looks boring because it's basic. But people like me fucking love that shit. I feel like the market has changed since they started, and they needed to adjust to that. Better marketing, more advertisement, lack of influencer talk. I think the influencer talk was definitely a thing. I mean, let's not pretend that Makeup Geek didn't have some controversy over the years, too. I'm sure that didn't help. Maybe they should have sent out PR to smaller collaborators. See, that's where I think that they did start doing that. But I think a lot of it does come down to the whole viral aspect. Just because, like, even me as a creator now, when I'm creating content, you almost want to have that shock factor. I cannot pick out any Makeup Geek product that'll give you a shock factor. It's just not gonna fucking happen. I don't know. It's an interesting way that the communities have shifted a little bit. But you know what? This is a brand that should have stood the test of time, because it always will come back to, you know how like trends come and go, viral products come and go. But let's talk about some fucking staple products real quick. There's not many that come to mind, I don't think. Like, I'm sure that there's some, but when I think of staple eyeshadows, Makeup Geek's at the top of the fucking list. So that's where I'm just like, we done fucked up as consumers. But I also think that the production aspect was probably a fucking nightmare, because with all the businesses that I own, the cost of materials is fucking crazy right now. Like, everything is just so, like, unrealistically priced right now. And it's just like, honestly, what the fuck are these brands supposed to do? You can't even be mad. Like, as much as I want to be like, Makeup Geek, what the fuck? I can't even be mad, because it is honestly insane. Like, it's hard out here for a pimp when it comes to being a fucking business owner right now. It's fucking crazy. Ugh, that's like a whole nother freaking soapbox I don't want to even get on. Blend under your chin, sis. Oh shit, I forgot I put those down there. Thanks, sis. Oh my gosh, still on my commute home, I thought of you, Brit, as soon as I heard the news. I tried Makeup Geek for the first time due to your recommendations, and I'm so sad I won't be able to try them more. I know, that's like the saddest part. Like, reading those types of comments could honestly make me cry, because I'm like, they're so fucking good. So fucking good. Dana, that was funny. I love the building of palettes. I bought each of the shades, smaller palettes, and have the color coordinated. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you. I am so sad. I'm so sad. And you know what? Let's do some speculating. I don't love to speculate all the time, but it's harmless. Let's see what you guys got to say about it. Do we see any other brands closing? I mean, what was it? I think Becca was the most recent one, but then Smashbox kind of came and saved the day just a little bit with keeping some of their like cult favorite products. Do we see any other brands closing? I think, what was another one? Midas Cosmetics recently closed, or they announced that they're closing. It's even worse to see these like indie brands. Just because, like, Makeup Geek's not a big brand, Midas Cosmetics is not a big brand. It's always more sad when it's a small brand. Just like, I'm sure with a lot of where you guys live as well as my own, like, there was businesses, small businesses that fucking closed that had no business closing, because it's like they've been around forever, and it's like it pisses you off because it's like these businesses did not deserve that. Oh, BH Cosmetics, yes. What happened? Is BH Cosmetics actually closing though? Because I thought that was kind of like a like there was something that kind of came up after that was like, oh wait, but they might not be closing. I don't know. That's where I'm like, I can't really remember. It's hard to keep up with all this shit, to be quite honest. But I don't know. Do you guys think? I saw Too Faced should see. Like, I never want to see any brand fail just because. But it's like, I wonder how. Here's a question. If we had known that Makeup Geek was going to close, would you guys have tried to save it? I'm asking this not only to my subscribers, but beyond my subscribers, if people come across this video. I feel like, as a creator, it makes you say, like, it almost makes you want to promote the brand more, or something along that line, but that's also, I don't know, like, I feel like, I feel like the people that actually like really love the brand, they were always promoting the brand. I might not have done videos dedicated to Makeup Geek, but I'm not even talking about just myself. I feel like even with creators, I feel like people often mention Makeup Geek in like comparing products and stuff like that. Like I feel like anytime I reviewed a palette, Makeup Geek would always come up. So I don't know. I always wonder that, but then it's like, okay, but on outside the YouTube world, how many people do you think really knew about Makeup Geek? Because it was so heavily focused on social media. That's another aspect that's very interesting is a lot of brands now rely so heavily on social media and not necessarily other things that before social media was a thing that you would focus on, if that makes sense. Like, for example, like commercials, you know, back in the day when social media wasn't as much of a thing, you would always see commercials for like CoverGirl and shit like that. Now, when the fuck do you see a commercial? You see a commercial off of us creators usually, but you usually don't see, you know, like regular television ones. I don't know. It's very interesting. BH sold to Makeup Revolution. Why the fuck am I not surprised? Oh my god. Okay, so let's ask the question. If you could have a makeup brand by Makeup Geek, who would it be? Because I don't know if I could even pick. I honestly don't. If I were to pick, I couldn't. I honestly can't. Because I feel like Makeup Geek just stood alone on its own. But the main thing I'm like asking myself as I'm asking you guys is, what is the next most, like, my phone's ringing. That's distracting me. What is the next most consistent brand to Makeup Geek for me? I would honestly say one of the most consistent is Unearthly Cosmetics, but I don't think that like an indie brand will buy another indie brand. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I totally would. BH was closing, but Makeup Revolution bought them. Oh, that's where I'm just like, no. But y'all know how I feel. Let's see. My career is in... Is it procurement, supply chain? Chances are with the pandemic and raw material issues, it wouldn't have mattered. If it was promoted more, Makeup Geek didn't have the buying power. That's exactly where I'm just like, I don't know a ton about that, but it makes total sense. I appreciate your feedback on that because in my mind, it's like, well, maybe if people bought more, but even if people bought more, they still couldn't keep up with the inventory that they had. So that does make a lot of sense. It's just incredibly unfortunate when, you know, unfortunately we rely on other countries to import and stuff like that. It just overall, it just fucking sucks. You know? Maybe like Makeup Forever. Elizabeth, I think you fucking nailed it. I don't have a ton of experience with Makeup Forever, but that would align so well. Oh, that's a good one. But then again, Makeup Forever like has their own, they have like their own shit already, you know? But that's a good one. That's a good one. Or Makeup by Mario, like a makeup artist. I could totally see that as well. Makeup Geek is the reason MAC Cosmetics started selling their single at $6. Yep, because they're like, wait, let me dupe this shit really quick. Now, I'm one of those people, I don't really love dupes, but you know what? Looking back at it now, I don't honestly think, this could be just like as I've gotten better with makeup, I've never like lived, breathed, and died for MAC Cosmetics. I honestly felt like Makeup Geek quality was better than MAC. Just me and my humble opinion. Because even when I use their products now, I'm just like, what? How is this actually good? But I think at the time, it was just on such like a different level. Like back in the day, it was so innovative and so different. Whereas when you had brands like Makeup Geek come along, they're kind of doing a similar thing, but also duping them. Like they would blatantly put out like, this is a dupe for this brand. So like, I don't love that aspect of it, but I don't know. I feel like when they did the rebrand with the whole Matrix system, that's where like I've always loved the brand, but that's where I really like fell in love with just how they did it. I'm just like, this is so smart. It was just so smart. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Don't like MAC, never have. It's just so interesting because people that used to love MAC fucking loved MAC. But now you look at MAC, like even if MAC would have presented Makeup Geek, I would have been like, no, don't do it. just because it's like two totally different levels when it comes to quality, in my opinion. I felt like I was going to vomit when I heard Makeup Revolution was buying BH. Has anyone else seen Makeup Revolution's new cheese theme palette? So icky. I have not. Brit Mac Staples. No. I never had staples from MAC, like, ever. Makeup Geek, yes, but MAC, no. I feel like, though, honestly, I'm not even going to be a shady bitch and talk shit. I feel like I missed the MAC era, though. Like, I feel like when I started my makeup, MAC was kind of on the outskirts. Like, people still talked about MAC. People still were producing content around MAC. But it was very much on the back burner to Makeup Geek. Like, I feel like when I started watching YouTube, Makeup Geek was on, like, another level. They were blowing up because all these big creators were talking about them. Whereas MAC wasn't shit, but they ain't shit now either, so it's fine. Let's see. MAC was good when I didn't know about any other brands. I 100% agree. Because I feel the same way. I'm like, they were good. They were fine, but they weren't all that in a bag of potato chips like people portrayed them to be. That was my thing. All right, let me use my Makeup Geek bronzer. I'm going to use the shade Sunkissed and Tawny. This is so sad. Like, this is going to be one of the last videos about Makeup Geek on my channel, guys. That's what, it makes me so sad. But, I mean, I'll still probably use them in, like, my everyday sort of life. And if I freelance again, please believe you will see these in my kit. It just sucks, though, because I love them. And I want to continue to talk about them. But it's like, I'm sure you guys aren't going to want to hear about a brand that isn't available anymore. It makes me happy to hear, though, that people are actually purchasing their products because they're 40% off, for one. But two, it's like, so you'll have, like, a piece of makeup history. Like, I will never declutter. Like, the primer is going to go back into my collection just because I'm a pack rat. And I just want to have these products. And it, honestly, like, going forward, I think just because this one hits me so hard, like, I'm really going to pay attention more because it's easy as a creator to just buy. But I really want to make sure that I spend time featuring brands that I really love. And there's a lot of brands that I've tried or I've featured that, you know, I try them because you guys would like to see videos on them. But I could see this being like a shifting point for me to just be like, I don't fucking care if you guys are interested. I'm going to get it anyways, just because if people are interested, it's just like one of those things. It's making me think a little bit just how I could also, I don't know, just better support brands that I actually love. Like, I don't know, it's just, you can't help but feel like, well, what if we did more or something like that? But that's why I appreciated that comment of like, the supply chain comment. But this is like, automatically I'm thinking of brands like Vive. Like, I still barely hear people talk about Vive. The fuck? Why is nobody talking about Vive? I don't understand it. Even when like new releases are coming out, like these accounts, these Instagram accounts, they don't hardly ever feature them. There's a few of them that do, like Motivate the Earth, I feel like usually does. But it's just like, why are some of these other brands that aren't creative, aren't nothing, have shit products getting all the promotion, and brands that deserve it don't? Let's see, what are my second favorite eyeshadows? Currently, oh shit, it depends. Like, it was Sydney Grace. I feel like if you want something very similar to Makeup Geek, Sydney Grace would be a good, like, company to go for. Except, I don't know if it's, like, another supply chain issue with them. Their most recent palette, the Be Mine palette, it's not the same quality. So I don't know if they're, like, trying new distributors or what they're doing over there. But those Be Mine palettes, unfortunately, were just not it for me. So I'm kind of hesitant right now just because like the quality was so dramatically different. So I'm trying to think beyond that. I really like NARS eyeshadows. I really enjoy as well. I'm using I forget what shade of blush this is. It's a Makeup Geek blush though. Amazing blushes. Hard to buy when you're in other countries. I would buy more Indi. Could totally see that being a valid valid reason for not. So you're just like, bitch, sorry, I want to, but sorry, not sorry. Oh, let's see. I feel like Hourglass may have a boo-boo with those single priced. Oh, yes. Right? Debbie, I know Viva's amazing. Yeah, it's like, where are all these people talking about Vive? Just wondering. I'll fucking wait. I can see Dose of Colors and Laura Lee Los Angeles going out of business. I feel like Dose of Colors, they need to do something. I feel like they're kind of sticking to what they know. I don't know. Like I said earlier, it's so interesting just how different the space is currently. Like I was talking about earlier, like I feel like a lot of brands are so focused on the viral products, whereas I don't know if that is, like, I don't love that for us, because it's like viral products, yeah, they might be cool, but you can't go wrong with fucking staples. Right? I don't know. How do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like you see primarily like viral content or like the wannabe viral shit? Because even for me, like when I'm posting on TikTok, like I posted about those Physicians Formula multi-chromes the other day. Like I wasn't sure if they were good, but I'm like, this is the first time I've seen multi-chromes available at the drugstore. Let me hype these up real quick and then we'll see if they're good. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to like navigate what's happening right now. We need to support smaller good brands when we are supportive expensive brands with big names and damn expensive price tags that are okay but not continue to make them rich. See, this is what's interesting about that comment though, is because these brands, this is like an interesting concept I feel like all around, because We'll look outside of the makeup industry for a second. Let's look at my bar, for example. When I first opened my bar, people are going to want to support it and throw money at it because it's a small business, yada, yada, yada. Every big business starts as a small business. But it's almost like if a business gets too big, people don't like it. But that's like the point of being a business, is to grow your business. And I think that's why for me, like, quality is so important. Like, because even some of these big brands like Hermes, Chanel, I will happily throw money at them because they're consistent. I find more good products than not good products. And I feel like if I was buying or spending money on all these expensive brands and I wasn't getting like the results from it, or the justification of the price, then yeah, like I'm not going to buy it. But I thought that the comment was so interesting because I see it so much. But then, like I was saying with the bar, it's like once it gets too big, people are going to be like, oh, wait, no, I'm going to support this other brand because this brand doesn't deserve it anymore. I don't think that that's accurate. Like, I think you could be a big conglomerate, but you need to come through with quality. I don't know. That's just how I look at it, though. I feel like makeup is dying, period. That's interesting. We love a hot take on that. Let's see. Did I hear about Pat McGrath suing and being a bully to Rosie Huntington's new brand? I did not hear that. I have heard... I mean, I don't know how valid it is or not. I have heard that that's not the first time, though, because I want to say that there was another brand that I heard that same thing about. I have not heard about that, though. A lot of viral things are not available in Canada unless sold at department stores, Sephora, or Whole and Renfrew. Renfrew, is that how you pronounce it? I am coming to your bar in 2026. Cannot wait to have a drink. That's so long away, though. Damn. I cannot wait. Skincare is rocketing so far more than makeup just now. I think that that's why big brands are backing up skincare benefits in every product. Wow. That's facts right there. Because if you notice a lot, like look at the new NARS foundation, for example. Like all of a sudden it's, oh, all these skincare benefits, yada, yada, yada. Wow, I did not even think of that. See, this is why I love live chats. Because you guys give me like an entirely different perspective. And I live for it. Because I feel like having a variety of different perspectives is important for literally everybody. If you're surrounded by people with the same perspectives, you're not gonna fucking learn anything. Big companies have to also focus on ethic, major backlash nowadays. Yes, cancel culture is fucking real. Real. Like when I posted about the those physicians' formulas, one of the first comments was, but they test on animals, which that's something that I have such a hard time keeping up with everything that I have going on just in my life. But then aside from that, knowing that the information that you're seeing is valid, like, I would hate to be like a cruelty-free channel and then feature something that I'm under the assumption that is cruelty-free and it's not. Like, that would 100% happen to me. Just because I don't fucking trust anything on the internet. I could see something like, even like when I saw Makeup Geek is closing, I'm like, let me go see if Marlena posted a video or posted something. Just because things get so taken out of context, and misinformation is a fucking real thing, in my humble opinion. Market is oversaturated, too many brands and too many releases. Looking at you, ColourPop, the shade. I think COVID hurt so many, even the bigger brands took hits. I totally agree with that. I mean, obviously, the smaller brands took bigger hits because they really couldn't afford it. But yeah, I totally agree with that. But also, aside from that, the financials that bigger companies were allowed to, like, take advantage of, that there's no way in hell that smaller brands couldn't have been able to take advantage of. We won't talk about that, though. Oh, I saw that. Use the word divine in her blush description. I did, like, I saw it briefly, but I don't know enough about it. But yeah, I'm just like, I think we talked about that in a recent video. Rare Beauty is suing somebody too. I need to do, like, I don't know if I want to do the video. I want to see somebody do a video just covering every, like, legality that these brands have done. But yeah, because of the word divine, I think that's kind of a stretch, because it's like, excuse me, you didn't create the word, but then again, what the fuck ever. If you got a trademark for it, then go nuts. But I could see a word like divine, them easily just being like, yeah, that's too, like, generalized. I don't know. That's just divine and fetish. Weird. I bought way more makeup during COVID. You know what? I think I did too, now that I think about it. I am using a Makeup Geek shadow for my brows right now. Just a little touch on the fact that I'm still using Makeup Geek products. Oh, let's see. Pat McGrath thinks she owns the word divine. I mean, here's the thing. Like, first of all, we don't know. I'm sure her legal team is like, yo, listen, you should be going after this. Like, because you can't tell me a brand like Pat McGrath doesn't have, like, lawyers out the asshole, I'm sure. So I'm sure part of it is the legal team, and a part of it is probably annoying being a brand and having these other brands being like, oh, we're going to call this divine. You know? Oh, let's see. Emily D. Baker on cosmetics lawsuits. That is a video I think we should all request. Let's see. Jen Love seems to be keeping up with the legalities of these brands. See, I haven't watched Jen in a minute, but I would be curious to hear her take on it. I would love Emily D. Baker, though, because she's a lawyer. Like, she knows the legalities and shit like that. Like, in my mind, like, with the Pat McGrath Divine, in my mind, just with, like, my businesses and what I've had to go through, that seems like a stretch. But a lawyer might be like, nah, bitch, that's not a stretch. That's, like, a real thing. I would love to hear it from a lawyer's perspective. No hate towards Jen whatsoever. It's just, that's like a preference thing. I would just love to hear from the facts, you know? Let's see, I bought a Thunder and Clover. The sales were amazing! Let's see, if it were a rock band using the words divine and fetish, you probably wouldn't get those products mixed. That's the other way around. Selena stole the brand name. The lady is suing Selena. Ooh, that's interesting. That would be an interesting one to follow, because she would just be like, listen, Linda, I have a song that's called Rare. Oh my god, we just started watching this show. Oh, what was the name of it? It's called Goliath. And I actually really like how, like, the whole thing is structured, because it's basically a series, but each season is its own lawsuit. If they could do that, like cover a cosmetics lawsuit in one of the seasons, that would be everything. But I'm sure that's definitely not going to happen. But if you guys have not watched Goliath, it's featuring, oh my God, he used to be married to Angelina Jolie. Billy Bob Thornton, right? Is that his name? He's like the main character in it. It's so good. Oh my God. Starry-eyed is so pretty. I think that's starry-eyed. The foil channels are fucking chef's kiss. My job just announced we have no longer to wear masks in the office. I'm about to buy so many lip products. Yes, Bethany. It's so interesting. Like going to stores and stuff now. It's like people almost feel like defensive to be not wearing masks and shit. I'm like, why? It's like, I don't know, these past 2 years have been a fucking wild ride. Let's see, but that could hurt her in the long run. Tracy, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I got off topic, I think. This one brow is not looking the bomb. It's looking too thick today. Like, I always like how this brow looks. The other brow, though, not so much. So now I'm trying to thicken up this brow here to basically better match the other side, but I think it's just too thick. Selena didn't steal anything. The lady had not legalized the name. Come on. Okay, I don't know the specifics of that, so it's fine. Totally off topic, but I need an update. Did you start Euphoria yet? No. And you know why we didn't start Euphoria yet? It's because we've been watching Goliath. Well, I usually watch, but I'm editing like the whole time. So I kind of just like edit and then I kind of look away and then I'll edit again and then I'll look back at it because I'm still editing weddings. So I can't like fully invest in it. I need to watch Euphoria when I can fully invest. Like when I have no weddings to edit and I could just sit down and watch television because that's a rare occasion. Like I think Shannon's a whole season ahead of me now because I'm like, I just can't keep up. Like I paid attention during the first season because it was a really interesting like trial and stuff. But then he started season number 2 without me and then I just kind of ask questions as it goes. But it's a really good show. It's called Goliath, if you guys missed it earlier. So other than Makeup Geek closing, like what else do you guys think about it? I'm so curious to hear why people either were or were not expecting it. Because I'm telling you, I was caught so off guard today. And then like I should have known something was up when I kept getting so many DMs and so many tags. Because my Instagram does not pop off like ever. I'm like active on Instagram, but it's usually just in like my IG stories. I don't post on Instagram all the time. Like I'll usually post like a video or like a reels that came from TikTok or something stupid. And then I'll post my pictures and then I'm like, okay, bye. But when I got so many tags and DMs today, I'm like, what's going on? And then I looked at like the post, because I think it was Hot Fire Makeup's post at the time. I sat there for like minutes just in disbelief of what I was reading because I was not prepared for it. And then I'm telling you, like I said earlier, I'm not like a super emotional person, but when I'm like watching Marlena talk and she starts to get emotional towards the end of her video, I start fucking crying. I'm like, this is problematic. Why am I crying right now? But that's the impact that this brand has had on my life because I truly think that seeing a person like Marlena just do her fucking damn thing, that's been something that has carried with me, like, into my own businesses. Like, just seeing other women do shit like that, it not only inspires you to follow your own fucking dreams, like, I hope, because, like, I sit there and say, like, I hope that I inspire people to do it as well. Because I have received comments that, like, people will send me and they're so nice and so sweet just saying how I inspire them or even anything. Like, those are the people, like, I love to follow people like that. And I think that's why I have followed her for so long because she might not, or I might not always, like, agree with things that she says or does or whatever the case is. But even if she were to fuck up royally, she would be somebody I would still back because I'm a loyal ass person. And even if people fuck up or whatever the case is, she has inspired me so much. And I think even just seeing the whole thing pan out and just seeing how, like, hopeful she is with whatever she has coming, which I have a feeling, and I was talking to somebody in my chat earlier, or my Instagram DMs earlier, I have a feeling it's going to be like a fragrance brand. I don't know. I think that there's definitely something. She's going to do a brand. Like, it's just like a gut feeling that I have because she's been talking an awful lot about fragrances, especially on like TikTok and stuff. And that's not even just recently. She always has. She's always had a love for like skincare and makeup and her fucking perfume collections and shit. Like, I would not be surprised at all. What do you guys think? I was so sad watching her video, so surprised because those eyeshadow brushes were a new release. Also, sounds a lot more like products were in the works, but COVID fucked it all up. Yeah, totally. Like, even just, I don't know, like, I think that's one reason why I really was not surprised is just like I said earlier, it's just seeing how dramatically impacted my businesses have been with the cost of goods, getting stuff in, like, just to, like, paint somewhat of a picture for you, we do, like, spray foam and drywall. Incredibly common, you know, like, who doesn't need fucking spray foam and drywall when you're building a house, right? So, the cost of shit, in the past 6 years, we've never seen a price increase until, like, the past year and a half. And it's not little price increases. It's massive. Just like we're seeing with, like, everything else. Fucking cereal, gas. Like, you name it. Everything is more expensive now. And it's just like, what the fuck do you do about it? All you can do is just say, what the fuck? And bitch about it on the internet. But other than that, it's like, what do you do, honestly? Honestly, what do you do? How do you feel about the celebrities coming out with their own makeup brands? We usually talk about those in my new makeup release videos. I'm not usually mad at it, but I'm definitely not one to just throw my fucking money at it. So, like, for example, the Gwen Stefani collection just came out. At first, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it and review it. Then I was looking at it, and I'm like, there's nothing unique about it. And it was just one of those things, I'm picking and choosing where I'm throwing my money, especially currently, like, with my bar opening and stuff. And I want to really, like, love the products that I'm bringing in. And overall, just what I saw, I wasn't in love with. And then the Sephora VIB sales coming up, that was just announced. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to wait. I'll check out some reviews. But then, I don't know, I'm that person. I do this every time. And then I'm like, fuck, I should have bought it when it launched. Because then I could have reviewed it and you guys would have cared about it. But it doesn't bother me as long as they're consistent. Like, as long as they're good brands. But if they're just coming out with a brand and just slapping their name on it and calling it a fucking day, no, ma'am. That ain't gonna work for me. The Gwen Stefani one, though, I was interested when it was like the idea, but I noticed I was less interested when I actually saw it. Does that mean to say? Like, for example, like, I know I don't wear red lipsticks. I know I'm not gonna wear a red lipstick. I almost got the liquid lipstick, but I'm like, I don't wear red, like, really ever. That's more of, like, what is going through my mind, like, when I'm purchasing stuff right now. Yeah, let's see. I didn't know you own businesses. Girl, I own, like, 4. I own the spray foam and drywall. I'm a partner in that. I own a videography business. I own a YouTube business, which is what you're watching right now. And then I own a bar on top of that. I own 4. The cost to ship an ocean freight container went from $3,000 for a 40-foot container to $2,500 for a 40-foot container. Holy fucking shit. I can't. Holy fuck. No lip liner. Oh yeah, there wasn't a lip liner. So they're doing red lips with no lip liner. Good call on that one, because I did not even pay attention to that. Let's see. Gwen said she was doing the business to give back to the people. Okay. I love when that's the answer. That's like me saying I'm opening a bar to give back to the people. No, I'm opening a bar because I want to open a fucking bar. And I'm going to bring something that other bars don't. Around here, at least. I'm going to give back. Oh, I can't. PR 101. Come on. Let's see. Truly, it's not even inflation. It's price gouging. Inflation is around 7%. Price rise by at least 50. It's fucking crazy. So that's where I'm like, I'm one of those people, I'm like, ignorance is bliss. I'd rather just like if I notice it, I notice it. But there's people, like, especially like Facebook, I swear. Facebook is the place people go to just bitch about everything. Same with Twitter. It's just like a cesspool to fucking bitch. You could probably say the same thing about YouTube and what I'm doing right now. But I'm like, I truly don't see a point in bitching about stuff that we literally cannot control. What is complaining about it gonna do? The things that you should do, people don't really think about when they're doing them. So, it just fucking sucks. She gives back in taxes. Okay. It's just, I mean, that's where I wish, like, okay, so if she's saying she wants to give back to the people, I wish people would just be honest and say, I want to create a makeup brand because it's really popular right now, and I'm Gwen Stefani, and, like, just be fucking honest about it. Like, that's what I wish people would do. Just be fucking honest. Like, or just say, you know what, I want to have a makeup brand because I want to make more money. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, why do people have such a problem with people wanting to be successful? I truly don't get it. And that kind of goes back into the other conversation we were having earlier. Like, with you almost, like, get too, like, make too much money and then people are just like, I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. We haven't seen her tax returns. And you know what? That's none of our fucking business. Let Gwen Stefani make that money. It's not that, I mean, it's crazy. Marlena's clothing store closed not long after the baby, so I kind of felt Makeup Geek was going... See, that's where I think that's why I wasn't expecting Makeup Geek to close, because that seemed like that was her baby. Like, that was... I guess I was surprised when I was watching her video today when she said, like, Makeup Geek was not, like, the end-all, be-all for her. When that's always what I thought that Makeup Geek was. I thought that's why she had closed Mars Day. Because, I mean, when she was doing Mars Day, I felt like that was a really big... I mean, it was obviously a goal for her to want to invest herself to have that sort of a business. But I felt like... I don't know, maybe it's just, like, you have an assumption. I think that's what it was. I had the assumption, like, if anything... Mars Day would have been the one that she had wanted to last longer, because I know that she was always really vocal about, like, plus size fashion and stuff like that. So when I saw her doing it, I'm like, hell yeah, girl, get it. But then, I don't know, it's like the parasocial relationships that we talk about all the time. My toddler loves your laugh. He has one and he dies laughing every time you laugh. We're dying over here. I have so many people that comment on my laugh. Over the past, like, fucking 5 or 6 years, so many people say that. I'm like, it's just a laugh. But I love that. Like, I love that people love that about me. Let's see. I don't want to see that. Oh, I'm just saying we don't know what she pays. That's all. Oh, okay. If you actually want to give back, open a free soup kitchen. That's her, I don't know, like, I guess I would like to, understand that statement a little bit more, because it's easy to criticize when you don't know, like, the context behind it. So I'm not going to shit all over that too much. It's just like, okay, if you want to own a makeup brand, do you, and do it well, or do it to the best of your abilities. The thing with, like, celebrity brands that I find so interesting as well, and it's honestly, like, the best part about celebrity brands, is, you know how, like, if you give like, say if you gave, like, an influencer brand, like, a bad review or something, or if you gave, like, certain brands bad reviews, sometimes there's like the clap back or people feel like they need to defend it. Like celebrity brands just don't give a fuck. They're just like, give me a bad review. I don't give a fuck. It's free publicity. It's so interesting how there's never like drama. There's never like dramatics and shit. It's like, hey, I'm opening a brand. Like, here it is. Here's what I'm launching. Peace. I prefer that, honestly, so much. Like, when we have like these sneak peeks, like a year before it's even launching, sometimes I'm just like, all right, just show me it before you're gonna fucking launch it. You know? I don't know. It's just interesting how even like luxury brands do things so differently. It's like each, this got on like a way different topic than I was expecting for today, but even like these these like high-end luxury brands, like we noticed with Natasha Denona more recently, that I feel like is more public knowledge now, that when her products are leaked, she's like requesting people to like remove the content, and it's like, wait, like why the dramatics? Like, your company fucked up or your distributor fucked up. It doesn't need to be like a big dramatic thing. Like, you don't need to come for smaller creators or creators that post your stuff that you either posted yourself by mistake or whatever the case is. Like, remember when Anastasia Beverly Hills was doing stuff like that? I think that's another thing that I liked about Makeup Geek was when they had a launch coming up, it wasn't like a big dramatic thing. It was like, hey, we're launching these brushes. Here you go. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there wasn't fucking drama behind Makeup Geek, because there definitely was from time to time. I feel like we all remember. But it's wild how different brands do things so differently. Oh, let's see. What lash glue did I use? It was the Duo lash glue. It's like the 2-in-1, but I just threw it out because it was way too dry. That's why I'm having a hard time getting these to to glue on. But I really like that, the Duo 2-in-1. And then I've also been using the new, or it's not new, it's the Kiss lash glue. Those are like the two that I've been intertwining. The Kiss and wait, ex-baseball player. Oh, and the A-Rod baseball. I was like, wait, what? Let's see. She gets more money from paying taxes on the brand. Like, this is also an interesting concept that people don't get if you don't own businesses. Like, literally the point of owning businesses is to not have to pay taxes. Like, why? Like, I don't understand how people don't understand that concept. It's wild. Like, at least, because it's like, you might not be paying in taxes, but you're also doing other things in the same breath. It's so interesting how there's so many different opinions about it. But yeah, that's like why people own more businesses, so you can invest your money in yourself and the things that you want to do and better communities and shit like that. Let's see. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say every business does that, because you can't say that, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see. Celebrities usually backed by big money. They need to just be the face. And that's the other interesting thing is, you know, it might be like, I don't know if Gwen Stefani's is actually like owned by her, but I feel like one brand that we see, like, I feel like even like Selena's brand, we see her very involved with that brand. Same with like Lady Gaga's brand. She seems very involved with it. But then again, we don't fucking know. You know, you only see what you're presented on your screen. Like, who the fuck knows? Oh, let's see. I did see some things going on about Olaplex recently, but I just saw a post that they had decided, I think back in January, to remove the, somebody had sent it to me today. But there was like some controversy over one of the ingredients that's being, like not permitted to use in products, and they only used it, according to them, they only used it for the fragrance. So they just decided to remove it. I don't fucking know. That's where it's just like, you gotta just take what they say and just be like, okay, how the fuck do we know? We don't. Let's see. Definitely part of a market. T-tone. What's T-tone? I think most of the leaks right before launch are fake to drive more buzz. Exactly. Oh, T-tone is... T-tone. It's definitely a marketing technique. We've talked about that a lot. It totally is. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it just pisses people off. I used to own a small business. I'm not talking about that. Let's see. Is Gwen considered a small business? I would say no. But then again, I don't know the specifics of her businesses. And I don't think a lot of people have time to, like invest in finding it. I don't know. It's so interesting. Let's see. Ultra rich people just have to have the peasants make the products and they just slap their name. Oh, shit. I'm not going to say that brands don't do that, but I don't think it's only ultra rich people that do that. She's in parties as, oh my God, I can't. Do you know that Avon bought Belief Skincare? Really? Oh my God, Avon was like the first brand I've ever used in my entire life. Like back when I used to do all-star cheerleading. I do not like this spray. It's the e.l.f. spray. Back when I used to do all-star cheerleading. Oh my God, we're going back like 20 fucking years right now. And they had the best black eyeliner, like of all time. Back in the day they did. If I were to use it, I'd be so curious to try it again. But anywhoosies, I'm just lollygagging and just rambling right now. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, I would love it for you guys to hit the thumbs up or thumbs it down. That's cool too. I know we were like all over the place, but everybody was asking me like, what do you think about it? What do you like? What am I thinking? And I'm just like, I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. I'm not ready. Okay. I was not ready for this. I was not emotionally prepared for this. I saw you guys talking about gargoyle. Gargoyle is beautiful. You guys were talking about that earlier. But, I mean, other than that, I got nothing else to say. But I do want to say before I get off for today's video, like I was talking about earlier, how as a creator, you always have in your mind, like, brands you would want to work with and shit like that. And I have to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to work with Makeup Geek, because you guys are the reason that I got in contact with Makeup Geek. You're the reason that they messaged me. You're the reason that I was on their affiliate program, because you guys asked for it. So I would not have had that opportunity without you guys, and I appreciate it more than you guys will ever know, because like I said, they were that brand that if I could pick any brand to work with, collaborate with, it was Makeup Geek. And I am so grateful to have the following that I do and the subscribers that I do that wanted to see that happen for me. And it wouldn't have happened without you. Like, I'm just one little person in the grand scheme of the internet. And it was truly, like, it was short-lived, unfortunately. But I'm truly grateful to have had the opportunity to work with them and any brand that I'm able to work with because of you guys. And if it wasn't for you guys DMing them and tagging them and doing everything that you guys do, it wouldn't have ever happened. Just like Marlena was saying, if we hadn't purchased her products or reviewed them or anything that we all do to all kind of like go and work together, if we don't do it, it only stays at one spot. You know what I'm saying? But I truly do appreciate everything that you guys have done, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have not yet, if there's still stuff left on the Makeup Geek website, it's 40% off right now. I cannot recommend any of their products enough. I think that their products are incredible. The quality's there. And show some love for Makeup Geek if you can. If you can't, give them a simple shout out or something. But I just hope that Makeup Geek and Marlena knows what an impact that they've done for this entire community, because it's honestly heartbreaking. It feels like we're going through a breakup right now, and I'm just not prepared. So other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Hopefully it will be my favorites and fails, but we shall see. Okay, bye.